What's up, beautiful people? Welcome back to my channel. I'm Erin, and this is Erin on Demand. And today we are talking all about brand building with your website. And this video was sponsored by Google Domains. Now let's get into it. First things first, your brand is more than just your social media. Do I need to repeat that for the people in the back? You need to have a centralized place that you have control over, and that is why having your own website is so important. And the crazy thing is, when it comes to building your brand, most people do start on social media and then they forget that that's just one piece of the puzzle and how important it is to have a solid website if you want your brand to really grow strong and powerfully. So today we're talking all about websites because your girl done did a thing, okay? I recently did a website refresh and I've seen such a huge improvement in my conversion rate, customer satisfaction, and my overall brand recognition. So let's get into it. I like to do a website refresh at least once or twice a year to update my photos, any website copy, and just to make sure my site reflects the direction of my business, because we all know that over time things can change. So you want your website to reflect where you are now. So I'm going to share with you some action items to give your brand a boost through your website. Now, first things first, this go round, I actually decided to transfer my domain. Y'all, this is something that I never thought I'd be excited about until now, but I'm going to tell you why I'm so excited. Because when I first got my website, I honestly had no idea why it mattered where you bought your domain from. I really didn't think much of it. But now that I have done a little bit of more research and I have grown my brand to where it is now, I now realize that this can make a really big difference on the flow of your website. One of the main reasons I decided to switch was because Google Domains is a one-stop shop and has way more features than I had before. Now, don't get me wrong, anything with websites can be very intimidating. I was actually a little nervous that I might mess something up in the process. So I had my husband help me, but honestly, I probably didn't even need his help because it only took a few minutes to switch over. And like all Google products, is extremely easy to use. So I'm gonna hop onto my screen share to show you how to purchase your new domain. And keep in mind, y'all, that even if you aren't ready to build out a full website, you can connect this domain to your YouTube channel, to a landing page, to your Instagram profile. You don't have to have a full-blown website to begin building a professional brand and to really take advantage of having a custom domain. So let me show you how easy it is to get started. I'm going to screen share with you. Go to domains.google, and once you get there, front and center, you can go ahead and search for a new domain option, or you can transfer a domain that you already own. I did this option with erinondemand.com, but I'm going to show you how to set up a new domain with ondemandfam.com. So you can see that this is available, which is really good. So they're going to give you a lot of ending options. You can click all endings and see that they have a ton of ending options. Some of these do vary in price, or you can also see that they give you some suggested domain names like ondemandfan.com or demandfan.com. I don't know if you need some help and some inspiration, you could look down here for some suggested names. Now, with this domain, it will also give you some advantages or considerations. It says this name has a popular ending, which is good, and the name isn't too long. Now, if I were to do a different name that was longer, let's see, the On-Demand Family. If I select this one, it does give me a consideration that long names like this one are harder to remember. So I think that it's good to look at those considerations and advantages to see if maybe you can change and have a stronger domain name. I also recommend searching for domain names before you really get your mind set on it, because sometimes they're taken. So we're gonna move forward with On Demand Fam and go for that. So you're gonna add it to cart, and now I'm gonna go to the cart. One thing I really like about Google domains is that the pricing is so straightforward. No monkey business, no nothing rolled or baked into the pricing that can be confusing. So every year, $12 a year. Obviously, you can add things on that will change the price, or if you are choosing one of those domain endings that may be a different price per year. I love though that Google has the same price no matter how many years you choose to pay for. So another thing that I love is that their privacy protection is included in this fee. A lot of domain sites will upcharge you for this type of protection. So it's going to protect your contact information from being available to the public. And this is usually something that costs extra. Even if you turn this privacy protection off, which I don't know why anyone would do that, it's still going to be $12 a year. So you can see that the price does not change. You can also turn auto renew on or off. Again, they do not charge you less or more for having auto pay on. So another good perk. Another thing that I would highly recommend is getting a custom email, and you can do that through Google Workspace. Seamlessly integrates with other Google products, which makes this so good. Like, I love Google domains for that reason, because if you use other Google products like Google Workspace, Google Analytics, Google Sites, then this is just going to make your workflow so much more seamless. So let's check out and see what's next. So once you have your domain purchased, Google makes it really easy to kind of carry you through the next steps of getting a site up and running. So you can create your custom email address, which would be Erin@ondemandfam.com, or whatever you want that you to say in front of your own custom email domain, which makes your brand just look so professional. So if you do have the wiggle room to do that in your budget, I highly recommend adding that. It is a major brand booster. So if we go over to website, this is where you can either build a new website with some of Google's free resources, or you can forward a domain. So send visitors to an existing web page and configure forwarding options. This is a great way to use your personal domain or your custom domain for your YouTube channel to send people to your Instagram. So you don't have to have a full-blown website in order to really take advantage of having a domain. And lastly, security. This is a big benefit of Google domains, is that Google's security is top-notch. So you can actually turn on two-step verification to add an extra layer of protection when you're signing into your account. The last thing you want is for someone to get into your website to, mess everything up that you've worked so hard to build this brand around. So your website, you want it to be secure, and Google has the best of the best security. So now that we've gotten the domain setup out the way, let's talk about some things that you can do to just amp up your site. Now, once you get your domain, you can build a site. No coding required through Google's resources. They're free resources, so make sure you take advantage of that. Some things that you want to be sure of as you are building or refreshing your website are, first things first, y'all. Please make sure your photos are in HD and not pixelated. The very first thing that most people see when they visit your website is probably a header or a banner photo. You want to make sure that that photo is crystal clear, that it's properly formatted on your web page. I also recommend making sure that these photos are updated, that you or your branding looks like how it currently looks, because you don't want your hair to be totally blonde on your website. But then if somebody books a call with you, if you're a service-based business and your hair is now dark brown, people may have a difficult time recognizing you. So just make sure that your photo quality is high and that it reflects the current state of your business. Number 2 is to make sure your headline is clear and concise. When someone gets onto your website, before they do any scrolling, they should be able to know what your business, service, or product is. They should be able to know what you provide to them and what value proposition your business has. So your headline needs to be clear and concise. That is the second thing you need to look out for. And again, if your business is shifting gears, if you now have a new course you've launched, or if you have a new product that you want to sell more of, then I would recommend putting that at the top of your website, maybe changing that photo there or making your headline really appealing for people to purchase that product or service. Number 3 is call to action buttons, making sure that all the buttons on your site work and they go all to the proper places, and that your calls to action begin with really strong action words like buy now, book a call, get started. You always want them to have an action word that drives people to click on that button. Next tip is to make sure your checkout is easy and quick. The last thing you want is for it to be complicated and take a long time for someone to buy something from you. So when you are doing a website refresh, or if you're building out a website, just make sure that those buy buttons or those call to action buttons quickly take people to those checkout pages, and you have those instructions very easily laid out, or that it's very intuitive for people to follow. And you want to make sure your contact process is seamlessly integrated. So when people need to contact you, whether it be a contact us page or if you have your email in your footer, you want to make sure that that is very clear and professional, which is why I highly recommend making that custom email domain when you're purchasing your Google domain, because it makes a huge difference in the professionalism of your brand. And Google Domains also has features like email forwarding, which is free, which is bomb for growing your brand and just making your workflows more seamless. So if you have an assistant and you want all of your contacts at Erin On Demand emails to be forwarded to her email address, then that is something that is a great feature that is included with Google Domains. Google Domains also integrates with Google Analytics, so you can always keep a pulse on how your site is performing, which honestly circles us back to, why it's so important to use your website to build your brand. As tempting as it can be to put all of your energy into your social media and all of your marketing, make sure you're still taking a step back and looking at your website, making sure everything is functioning properly, and just making sure that the core of your brand is solid, which typically is your website. Think about how much traffic your social media can be driving to your website, and the better it is, the more secure it is, the more professional it is, the easier it is to retain those visitors and to keep them coming back. So if you have not done your website refresh this year, make sure you get going on that. And if you have done one, leave a comment down below and let us know your biggest tip for refreshing your website or starting a new website, so that we can all just learn from each other. So take the first step to get online with a domain name from Google Domains, and you can use promo code Erin On Demand to get 20% off your first year at domains.google. Thanks to Google Domains for sponsoring this video, and I will see you guys on the next one. Bye for now.